Sounds good. Hey Nick, hope you're doing well. I guess just with the exhibitions now behind us, I guess just where do you feel like you guys stand as the season approaches, and just where do you feel like you guys still need to improve upon?
Um, coach is, very honest with us. So, he tell us when we're doing good and he tell us when we're, lacking or doing bad. And, it's been both really, and that's how it should be, especially this early in the season. So, from our performances, um, especially the first one, he was very excited about, what we put out. He challenged us a bit. He really wanted us to go out and get our butt kicked that first game. And I think that channeled a lot into all of us. And, as competitors, seeing it every day, you know, I even saw a different side of us. Like it was very exciting to see. And I was definitely happy with the outcome, especially defensively. And I feel like, you know, defensively, like we're definitely, ahead of where we should be, especially to be in October. So that's very exciting to see. And, defense gonna take you as far as you want to go. So yeah, really going to the next game to Memphis. Um, yeah, we had a shaky start. A lot of things weren't favorable to us, so we had to, settle in and kind of figure out, where we wanted to attack, and but we had to remind ourselves like defense is, going to win us this game. So, you know, I'm just staying consistent, staying level head, and one thing I love about this team that we're so connected, like, we don't let each other hang our heads. We got a lot of leaders, especially from, the younger guys, man. Having younger guys that step up and, not afraid to speak their mind, like Malik Thomas, like that's, definitely one of the best freshmen I played with, mentally, physically, talent level. It's just good to see, like you just looking at the corner of your eye and you see him motivating somebody. He may be struggling or something, but he doesn't care. He's selfless, and that's one thing this team needs to be successful because we're deep. Like it's a lot of talent, but a lot of stuff can hit the fan when you have a lot of talent, but y'all don't have any chemistry. So um, I'm really just excited, just to see where we're at already. I feel like we're definitely ahead of schedule, but complacency is not what we want. And that's just kind of something that I try to, stay on top of. Even if we had a good performance, bad, I'm in the training room the next day getting some treatment and asking, Kenneth Payne, just asking him like what else can we be better at, bro? Like I see the vision, I see where we can be, and it's just a lot of excitement, even through me, like just being team to team, going team to team, like, you see the different levels of talent, and this team is definitely on a whole nother level, and I'm just excited to see where we take it.
And then have you guys looked into Southern at all? And if so, just what have you seen from them, just and how are you guys preparing for that game in particular?
We know that, they're a good team. They won their conference last year. They have some talented players. So it's a team that, we want to focus 100% on. We want to, showcase to our fans, what we want to do for this first game and throughout the season. And, we're taking this just as serious as any other game. And I mean, the metrics, just being around college basketball, all this stuff matters. They won the league last year. They're supposed to win this year. So every win is going to count for us this year. And that's the type of team that you know what will shock a lot of people at the end of the year. Little do a lot of people know. I mean, that's the type of team that will shock you. So we want to, take this as any game. We want to treat it like literally complacency. Complacency is one of the words that I use a lot. Just with the group of guys we have, we kind of young, but we have some older pieces that hasn't really, won a lot. So none of us really want to be complacent. And we are all, hungry. We all, want to showcase how good this team really can be. And, coach, I just love, the transparency and honesty that he has with us. So he keeps us going. He lets us know how good we are, but he never lets us slack off. Never. So that's one thing that just excites me the most about us because, every team is not the same. A lot of coaches won't be that honest with you because they won't think you'll stay humble. But with this team right here, man, it's a lot I can say about them. Like, but I mean, the mentality is definitely where it needs to be, and we want to, continue to carry that over, you know, from this first game into the last one in April. So, like, it's really gonna be fun.
And then last one from me for now, but we've talked about, the front court and how you guys have a lot of versatility, length, size, and all of that. Just how do you feel like you guys performed as a front court in the first two games, and just where do you kind of feel like you guys need to, I guess, continue building on as you get into the season?
It's definitely a lot of things we can work on. First, keeping me out of foul trouble. Having all three of us being able to go in and out. Even adding a smaller piece at four, like Carter or Billy. Like just having those different type of pieces. At the 4 or 5 is crazy for us. I mean, I think one thing we really need to work on is helping our guards get downhill more. We have some great guards that can make reads. And most definitely, I say, you know, get us more touches down there as well. Like, Coach been preaching about it, trying to find us, our identity down there, and I feel like we have it, but we just have to attack it more. The aggressiveness, we need to get on the glass more. Like I feel like we've been doing great at it, but I feel like that's still the bare minimum for us. I feel like we can do a lot more with the three across the line for us. So, I mean, it's very exciting to see where we're at, in October, like I said, but it's so it's so much more we can do. Like he pushes, Malik Ewan every day, literally to just push that intensity a little bit more, just so he can, find the best version of him. And I feel like, Malik been playing great, but coach challenged him every day just to go out and do more, just to get the best version of him. And that pushes me to be a lot better too. Um, and coach, he always says, I don't know why, but the guys that come off the bench, they always play the most minutes, and which is true. Like in his case, which is very true. And I really, enjoy that because I know I'm a guy that's gonna, start the game off the way it should every game and the way the rotation is. Like all of it just kind of clicks together. And I mean, that kind of just lead that competitive mindset and practice of let's get each other better. Let's complete each other. Coach always says it. Let's complete each other. We're not competing, we're completing each other. So that's just, a big piece of what we have going on. And I feel like we still haven't found, where we should be at 100% right now. And it's kind of scary because, we got a lot to prove.
Jackson.
Sorry. Hey, Nick. You mentioned Malik Thomas and how impressed you've been with him. Did you watch, like, when you commit to Arkansas, you look at the roster, you see the freshmen coming in. Did you watch any of his high school, overtime league highlights?
Yeah, for a lot of times you can look at those stuff, but you don't know how much it would translate because it's always about, you know, how the player reacts to the coaching, how the player, you know, reacts to his teammates being around him, how he feels about not being that main guy all the time. And Malik, he's been, the absolute perfect person for that. Coach been on him about, putting the ball down on the floor. Like you probably wouldn't even realize like his game has changed so much from when he stepped on campus to now. Like Malik doesn't even have to take a dribble to score the ball. And that's, one of the craziest facets, like just to see the transition of a player, to have the ball in his hands all the time, to going to all he has to do is pass and cut and has a wide open shot every time. Like I'm sure that makes him feel a lot better. That makes him feel more impactful. So, for him to be able to do that and to have the mindset he has and to come and play defense the way he is right now, like literally have film the other day and coach was like, Malik Thomas is the best defender we have. He's always in the right spots. He's always doing the right things. He's making the hustle plays. He's changing the momentum of the game. And, that's something you want from every player on the court. So as a freshman, he's setting the tone for literally everybody. And, that's exciting, and that's one of the few people that I talk to the most, because I see his mentality. I see where he's trying to be. And, you know, I want to give him everything, every piece of knowledge I know from, my experiences, like everything. I want to like he's a sponge. He's really a sponge. Like you can say that about a lot of people, but Malik Thomas is really a sponge. He wants to learn. He wants to be the best version of himself. I'm in a weight room with him every day. He's literally working just as hard as me, and I love the weight room. Like to see that out of a freshman, it's really surreal. And I can speak all day on Malik because he does so much for me. He bring a lot of joy into the locker room. Like he's a multifaceted person. Like he does everything you want him to do. And I just want to continue to help him build. And he has the best people around him to help him do that. So I mean, I'm very excited for him and his future and what he's going to do for us this year.
You know, like when the scouting report on him coming in was shooter, kind of takes some crazy shots, but like I know you guys have said he's impressed you in all the other ways in a long time in the summer. Was there like any surprise factor, like when you first started practicing with him, like, oh, this guy's way more than just a shooter and an offensive threat. He can do a little bit of everything.
I say when you're a competitor, when you learn how to win, when you see those things in your career, all that stuff just kind of carries with you. And I feel like that's one thing about him that nobody is going to ever be able to take from him is his competitive spirit. You know, I think like 2 days ago, we had like a more of a learning day. It was we still practiced, but it was more of a learning day. You know, coach teaching. He's on everything. He's stealing balls. Like he's just a competitor. He like talk trash. Like that gets him going. And that's one thing I love to see if somebody to the left or right of me. Like I love to see a competitor because that makes me want to go even harder for them. And that's something he brought every day. No matter his good days, bad days, he's going to be a competitor every day. And I feel like once you do that, it kind of carries over to literally everybody, in the gym. And, you know, that's the type of level we want to play on every night, going in and out. So he's been a big part of what we've been doing lately. And, I'm just excited to see, how we finish.
Last one for me. How much of a difference is, Trevin's blocking? It's not only happening in the paint, like contesting shots. I mean, from your vantage point as a center, maybe playing next to TB, what kind of difference does that make for the defense? His ability to like have these blocks and contest way away from the paint.
Man, y'all probably wouldn't believe half of the stuff I've seen him do defensively here. I mean, when I say elbow above the rim, like 95% of the time, like he's going to get it and he's capable. And that's why coach challenged him to go and do the things he does. I mean, when coach said the 6 or 7 blocks a game, I wasn't even surprised. Like, I'm like, that's probably nothing to TB because he can go get it at any time. Like, he has a 7'4" wingspan at 6'10". Like, I wish I had a 7'4" wingspan. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's ridiculous, bro. And especially with the bounce and athleticism he has, like, it's just amazing to see, what coach is trying to do with guys. Like he's trying to get guys to their fullest capability. Like he wants TB to get the spots and start hitting shots. He's very hard on him and he makes him do a lot of things that he's uncomfortable with. But that's what's gonna make the team what it is. I mean, and TB defensively, like he's just scratching the surface, bro. Like things coach telling him to go do, like he'd go do it the next play. Like, and coach be like, I told you can do it. Like, and that's the type of coaching we need. That's going to be everything for us. Just a confidence booster. Him getting us to our fullest potential is going to be, scary, man. Because, with all of us just scratching the surface, man, it's unbelievable what we're doing already. And, I just want to continue to see the growth, within myself, within my teammates, and, see how high our confidence can really go and how far it can take us.
Matt.
Yeah, hey Nick. With today being Halloween, you got a good costume this year?
Yesterday, y'all gonna see a video probably coming out soon. Yesterday I pranked a couple of the guys. I got my tooth extracted, like last week, and all of them been on me about, having a missing tooth or whatever. I got it back in now, but they was on me, so I was like, okay, I'm about to prank these guys. So yesterday we was actually in here, and they thought they was coming in for a little interview, and I gave them a little scare with a Bigfoot costume. So y'all see that pretty shortly. I'm happy I got to do that. I got my get back, so I'm pretty excited.
Who did you who got scared the most? Like who did you get the best?
I think it was our video coordinator, Kevin Buddy. He was finna punch me, so I think I got him the best. I got him the best for sure.
Speaking of Memphis, I know at times you always weren't the happiest with the foul calls. I guess since has Cal or an assistant talked to you just about managing foul trouble and just things of that nature?
Not necessarily. I've looking back at them, I mean, they weren't the craziest calls. I say about two of them, three of them, 2.5 were probably like fouls for real. They have new call for the charges. Like they not calling charges this year, so to speak. So that's something I'm not doing again. But for other ones, I mean, they're kind of questionable. But that's not some that's all, learning points and just seeing how they will manage games, So I watched a lot of games, a lot of teams in the SEC that's going to play, a lot of SEC refs, and they're calling a lot of things this year. So it's just, literally about being in the right spots and, not looking as aggressive, I guess. I mean, because I feel like I'm there a lot of times. It's just, I just get unlucky with the whistle a lot, and you know, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of questionable about it myself, but I'm here. Whether I'm on the court or not, same energy given to like I'm teaching my teammates. I'm here for all of it. So I mean, um we just gonna have to see how this goes this year. I mean, I definitely don't want to have no way, no nothing over 3 fouls next game. I mean, I'm just trying to, stay level headed and stay on the court for my guys. So I know I can play, valuable minutes, but Malik Ewan, he's been killing it, man. He's been, you know, taking all the minutes that I haven't been playing and doing his thing. So I mean, I'm very excited, and that shows the depth of this team. And I feel like I'm more of the defensive anchor of the team. Malik is more of the offensive guy. So it kind of goes, hand in hand. But I really would like to see how it meshes with both of us, being able to play when we can. So it's gonna be a very exciting to see, man. I'm happy, man.
Last one for me. Last week, when we were talking to Billy, the first player that he could have chose to compliment was you in two ways, just doing anything to win, and then also your experience in deep tournament runs. How do you kind of see yourself on this team?
Really just that, honestly. I mean, I know I'm an energy giver. I'm willing to teach my teammates literally everything they know. I'm willing to go out there and give my 100% every day, no matter how I'm feeling, just to be that, that guy that, guys can lean on, that they can trust, and, communication is heavy for me. So my guards, with my wings, defensively, like that's one thing I do the best. I just like communicating. I like, making things the easiest as possible. Like, and I think that's carrying over a lot because, like I said, like Malik, maybe he wasn't that vocal coming in, but maybe seeing me talk a little more, that makes him talk more. And when he talks, that makes Isaiah Sealy talk more. Like it carries over. Everything carries over. So, you know, not saying I take credit for a lot of things, but it starts somewhere, So and our coaches, they've been great, man. They've been on us about literally everything, every little thing that can make us better. So they never settle for less. And make the most out of every practice, every situation. We take like 15 minutes after practice just to walk through things to make sure we understand, and that's really been benefiting us, to the fullest. And you know, I can't wait to see us at our full potential, man, because we're high on the scale, but we're just scratching the surface, and I don't think we understand how good we really can be. And me, making it that far and seeing the talent levels, you know it kind of reminds me of the UConn team that I lost to, and we're way more athletic. You know, we're probably not as old, but it still give me that feeling like me playing for Bama that year. I'm like, bro, UConn, they have a lot of pieces, bro. Like anybody they subbing, bro, they can kill on the court, bro. So it give me that kind of feeling, and um, they know it, we know it, but it's all a part of not being complacent and continuing day by day to compete with each other and make the most out of it.
Hutch.
Yeah, Nick, I just got one. You mentioned the non-charge call the other night. Did the officials kind of tell you afterwards, like, hey, we're not going to be calling that, or if the coaches talk to you about that? How big of an adjustment is that for you?
I would say it wasn't. It's not going to be a huge adjustment. I didn't take a lot of charges. I took a lot at Bama, but it's just been something we've been working in practice on. So it's like, okay, we work on this every day. So why not beat them to the spot and take the charge? I felt like I did that, but once I got on the bench, sat and talked to coaches, they said they're not calling that, and I think talked to head officials recently, and that's literally not calling. They're not really calling that. So, I kind of like it for our league because we're very athletic. It's an athletic league, and I like it honestly. I mean, it makes us play more physical. It makes us wall up. I mean, I didn't really like the first game playing Cincinnati. I didn't like how I got called for a charge offensively. So I guess it go kind of hand in hand. And I mean, I I like it, honestly. I'm not mad at it at all, but it'll be nice to know, beforehand, and especially working on it for, months straight. You kind of, build up into that moment like, okay, I know I might foul if I jump here, but if I beat him to the spot and I take this charge, I might get this call. And I see me throw my hand up like I got it. I was excited to get the first charge call of the year. Like, I already had just started the game off with a little lob, so that was going to really get me going. So I was like, yeah, but it didn't go my way. But just talking to the refs a little and to the coaches, like, all right, I'll take that one. But that life goes on.
Daniel, wraps up, please.
Yeah, good morning, Nick. I mean, I'm just one from me. Maybe entering your last season, do you kind of take an extra moment to like, last season opener, last, ramp up to the season, those kinds of things? Do you maybe take a extra moment for you personally?
Yeah, I think I had that moment last year. I thought last year was gonna be my last year until midway through the season, until they granted JUCO guys. So I kind of soaked up last year to be that. I feel like this year is more about my teammates, my coaches, and pretty much everything I can give for me to make it to where I want to be. Um, I feel like these last 5 years has really built me for this moment. So I'm excited going out every night, literally to give my all, to do whatever I can for my teammates, to, challenge them, to just make them the best version, they can be for themselves and us. So I take this as a more of a selfless journey, and not really put it about myself, make it about myself, which I really haven't, in my career. But, this year is it's really more personal, to make it about other people, because you see the talent you have in the room and all you want to do is, give to them, honestly, and you see how good they can be. Like, it's not like necessarily, oh, my time's up, but it's like, you know, cherish these guys, tell them what like tell them the highs, the lows, and help them understand what it takes to win in the SEC, because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And, these past 3 years, like, the SEC has been, it's been on a high rise, man. So for them to know and understand before the game even comes, that makes them, take on the challenge more in practice, to understand what the coaches are coming from, to understand how different people gonna hit you, every night. So it's more of a challenge, for me rather than the team, because it's like, what do I want to tell them? What is the main focus? Like I said, like, I'm in the training room every day. I'm talking to Kenneth Payne. What can this team, like, what can we do to make this team better? Like, his first thing, probably like a month and a half ago, was the physicality of us. And, that same week, I'm like, okay, it's time to get physical in practice. It's time to do this. It's time to do that. Like, I asked him the other day, like, what else do we need to work on? Like, and that's just questions I like to ask to help expand our team, the range of our team, how good we can be. So, that's the challenge I'm taking on personally, is to pretty much just give to everybody on the court. Like, I'm trying to give the most I can. I'm trying to challenge. I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to do whatever I can for us to be successful.
Quick follow-up. I mean, I guess once they granted that sixth year, was it ever a question that you would take it, or did it kind of take a minute for you to make that decision? Just walk me through that.
I mean, I don't think it was ever a question that I would take, especially, nowadays and how things are going. Like, I didn't think I did enough, at South Carolina. Yes, my stats got better, but I didn't feel like a winner. I didn't feel like I did enough. And like I said, I don't like to do it for myself. So yeah, my stats could have got better, this or that, but I like team-oriented stuff. I like, you know, making a commitment to win this, to win that, to check off boxes. And I feel like it wasn't a lot of boxes to be checked off last year. So I didn't want to go and try to enter or test to. I didn't really want to go in empty-handed, So yes, I've been successful the previous years, but that doesn't deter my story. I want my story to be better. I want it to, I want other people to be involved within my success. So, choosing to come here, I did not know it would be as good as it is now, but putting the pieces together and seeing how things been going, and us challenging each other day by day, it's really a dream come true. I've never thought a kid from Seabrook, South Carolina would be playing for Coach Cal. Like never in my life. Like watched this guy on TV, didn't even think I would be recruited on that level. So it's a lot, man. It's a lot to take in, just to think back on the years, how far I've came, and how much I want to give back, to guys that haven't even really scratched the surface of their career. And I feel like me doing that can, change their lives and, maybe advance theirs, like to make them the best version of themselves. So that's all I really want to do.
Nick, thank you so much for your time. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.